Hello, this is an example for creating a program for lab number 1. Now the first step is that you want to open up Studio 5000. And I'm just double clicking on that icon. Click yes to the launcher. Then you'll see this window. Click on New Project. And you want to make sure you're selecting the CompactLogix 5370 family of controllers. And our particular controller is this one right here. So highlight that, select a name. I'm going to call it Lab1A, only because I probably have Lab1 already existing. Then click on Next. And here, really all you need to do is just verify that you have the right controller family. The revision should already be 34, and then just hit Finish. After a few seconds, you'll get this screen. The first thing you want to do is set up the path. So you click on this little icon here. And this is called the Factory Talk Links. And in my case, I'm going to go to AB Ethernet IP-1, open this. Now you might have to scroll down to the bottom of the list to see your particular processor, but it should have 192.168 and so on. So click on that or highlight it, and then select Project Path. And then once you've done that, you should see this path appear up here. And then I can just do Close. And my next step is to create a program. So I go to Task, Main Program, and double click on Main Routine. Okay, and this opens up an empty rung. And I'm just going to add a line of programming code. So I'm going to drag and examine if close to the rung and an output energize. I find it easier just to bring these blank instructions down here, and then I'm going to give it an alias name. In this example, I'm going to call it panel push button 0. That's my input, and my output is going to be called extend solenoid. Okay, and that's going to be the alias for a particular address. And to change that, and you'll notice when I hover over this, it says undefined tag. That's why I'm getting the error. So right click and go to new panel, push button 0. And you want to change this base type to an alias. And now I can type in the alias tag or use the pull down window is the best approach. And type in local 1 input data and 0 in this case. Okay, and once you've done all that, do create, and the same thing over here, right click on the name and do edit new solenoid, change it to alias. In this case, it's going to be an output, so local 2 output data, and it's supposed to be 9 for this example. And then do create. And now notice that the error has gone away. So now what you want to do next is download the program. So click on download. And then you'll get this pop-up window. Click download. Okay, just check that you have 0 errors and 0 warnings, and then click yes. Now make sure that you're in run mode, controller is okay, and IO is okay, and you'll see a couple of bars here. Now I'm doing this remotely, so I can't press the button, but if you were to press the button, this would go green and the extend solenoid would be activated. One of the other things that you will do in the lab is to put the program into inhibit mode. And to do that, you right click on main program, go down to properties, configuration, click on inhibit mode. Now, what happens here is you notice the green bars go away because the PLC program is no longer controlling the output. But there is a benefit to that. I can now go to the controller tags and go to local 1 output data 0. Okay, or sorry, for our case, let's say data 8. And what I will do is change that value from a 0 to a 1 and hit enter. And it should cause the light on the IO box for data 8 to turn on. And I want you to test each bit to see whether or not you can control it. And you want to go between 2 levels. So I'm going to set them all to high to see that all the lights come on. And you can continue that approach and then just go back to see that you can actually turn it off. you want to make sure that you can turn the outputs on and off. Now, you'll probably also want to test the inputs. So to do that, just come up here, go to local data, and look at all the bits. Make sure that you don't do this sort of thing because you can't read the numbers. So you have to expand that column so that you can read everything. All right, so this is telling me that my input 1 is true, input 3 is true, and that's because these are normally closed push buttons. Data 0 and data 2 are normally open push buttons. Notice down at the bottom, this is called monitor tags, where we're looking at the value of the tags. And if I wanted to change the tags, this is where I do it. Now, the important thing to also recognize is that these are the hardware or controller tags, whereas parameter and local tags are the tags that you've created. And we only have created 2 of them right now. And the extend solenoid is showing a 1, and the panel push button 0 is showing a 0. And that's because I have gone into the mode where I can modify the outputs, okay, inhibit mode. That's going to be very important. And notice that when you're in inhibit mode, you can see this little pause symbol. So once you're done using inhibit mode and you want the program to run, you have to make sure you get out of that mode. So you'd right click, go to properties, configuration, and then click inhibit mode and click apply. So if I now go back to the program and look at the program, it has the green bars indicating that the program is controlling the outputs. So when you've completed the program, it'll have 4 rungs like this. And when you're creating the program, it's best to use the order that I went through, just to add maybe the 4 rungs in total, and then add the instructions. So the rungs first, the instructions second, and then the alias tags, panel PB0, panel PB2, and then add the alias links to that tag. Hopefully this helps and that you are able to complete the lab.